Right now, in this very moment, before you scroll, before you look away, before your mind drifts, I want you to hear this clearly. If you are tired of noise, if you are tired of pretending, if you are tired of explaining yourself to people who don't listen, this message is for you. This is not motivation for the loud. This is strength for the quiet. And if your soul feels heavy but determined, stay with me. If this already feels like it's speaking to you, pause for 1 second. Like this video, share it with someone who needs calm more than hype. Comment that you're here, and subscribe, because this space is for people who are done wasting energy and ready to grow strong in silence. We live in a world that rewards noise, a world that claps for the loudest voice, the fastest reply, the biggest reaction, a world where everyone is shouting their opinions, their success, their pain, their anger. And in that chaos, you start to feel like something is wrong with you because you don't want to scream, you don't want to explain, you don't want to prove, you just want peace, quiet, control, strength, and somewhere deep inside you wonder, am I weak for choosing silence, or am I finally learning something powerful? Stoic wisdom answers that question without shouting. It says, strength does not announce itself, it does not beg remembering, it does not need applause. Strength is quiet. Strength is calm. Strength is choosing not to react when your ego wants to explode. Strength is walking away when your pride wants to fight. Strength is building yourself while the world is distracted. Think about this for a moment. The strongest people you've ever met, truly strong, not aggressive, not arrogant, calm, grounded, unshakable. They didn't speak much, did they? They didn't explain themselves to everyone. They didn't chase validation. Their presence alone said enough. That is not accidental. That is cultivated. Most of your exhaustion does not come from work, or responsibility, or lack of sleep. It comes from emotional noise, from caring too much about opinions that don't build you, from reacting to things you cannot control, from arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stoicism teaches something radical in today's world. Not everything deserves your response. Not everyone deserves your explanation. Not every thought deserves your belief. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to defend your choices to people who won't live with the consequences. You don't need to explain your growth to people who benefited from your weakness. Living quietly does not mean living small. It means living intentionally. There is a difference. The Stoics believe that your peace is your responsibility, not your boss's, not your family's, not society's, yours. And that idea alone can feel terrifying at first because it removes excuses. But it also gives you power, real power. When someone disrespects you and you don't explode, that's power. When someone doubts you and you don't rush to prove them wrong, that's power. When life hits you hard and you still wake up disciplined, calm and focused, that's power. The world wants you reactive. Stoicism wants you sovereign. Let me tell you something uncomfortable but freeing. Most people are not against you. They are just trapped in themselves. Their words are not weapons. They are reflections. Once you realize that, offense loses its grip. Insults lose their sting. Drama loses its attraction. You stop asking, why are they doing this to me? And you start asking, why would I give this my energy? That shift changes everything. There's a quiet confidence that comes when you stop narrating your life, when you stop announcing your plans, when you stop posting every move, when you let progress happen in silence. Because silence removes pressure. Silence removes comparison. Silence lets you focus. The Stoics practiced something powerful, voluntary discomfort. They trained themselves to be okay without comfort, without praise, without approval. Why? Because when you are no longer dependent on external things, nothing can control you. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your stress comes from needing things to go a certain way, from needing people to see you a certain way, from needing outcomes you cannot guarantee? Inner peace begins when you accept this truth. You control your actions, you control your effort, you control your character. Everything else is borrowed, temporary, unstable. And once you accept that, you stop chasing peace outside yourself. You build it inside. Living quietly also means choosing your battles wisely. Not every injustice needs your outrage. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every provocation needs a reply. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. Not because you are afraid, but because you are disciplined. Discipline is the foundation of Stoic strength. Waking up when you don't feel like it, doing the work when no one is watching, staying kind when it's easier to be cruel, staying calm when chaos is tempting. That is how you grow strong. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you stop reacting, people notice. When you stop explaining, people wonder. When you stop chasing, people feel the shift. But by then, you don't care anymore, because your validation comes from within. You start measuring success differently, not by applause, but by alignment, not by recognition, but by resilience. There will be moments when your quiet growth feels lonely, when you look around and feel unseen, when you wonder if anyone notices how hard you're trying. The Stoics would say this: do not seek witnesses for your virtue. Let your reward be the person you become. Think about how freeing that is, to grow without needing permission, to improve without needing approval, to heal without announcing your pain. You don't owe the world a performance, you owe yourself integrity. Inner peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of clarity. It's knowing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's choosing long-term strength over short-term relief. That means sometimes you will feel misunderstood. Sometimes you will feel behind. Sometimes you will feel like you're taking the long road while others seem to get ahead faster. But Stoic wisdom reminds us, the fast road often leads to burnout. The loud road often leads to regret. Quiet growth compounds day by day, habit by habit, thought by thought. And one day you look back and realize you are no longer triggered by what once controlled you. You are no longer hurt by what once defined you. You are no longer chasing what once consumed you. That is strength. Real strength is being able to sit with yourself in silence and not feel the need to escape, to not drown out your thoughts with noise, to not numb your feelings with distraction, to face yourself honestly, because most people avoid silence for a reason. Silence reveals truth, and truth demands change. But you are not most people. You are here because something in you wants depth, wants calm, wants control, wants growth without chaos. Stoicism teaches us to prepare, not panic, to observe, not obsess, to endure, not complain. Life will test you, it will take from you, it will disappoint you. That is not pessimism, that is reality. But suffering is optional, not because pain isn't real, but because meaning is chosen. You don't control the storm, you control how you stand in it. When something goes wrong, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" When someone leaves, instead of chasing closure, choose self-respect. When progress feels slow, remember that roots grow deeper before branches reach higher. Living quietly also means protecting your mind. Be careful what you consume. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful what you feed your thoughts, because your mind becomes what you repeatedly expose it to. Calm environments create strong people. Strong people don't need chaos to feel alive. They need purpose. They need direction. They need meaning. And meaning comes from living according to your values, not your impulses. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. Feeling anger without becoming cruel, feeling sadness without becoming hopeless, feeling fear without becoming paralyzed. You are allowed to feel. You are not allowed to self-destruct. That's wisdom. There will be days when you fail, when you react, when you say too much, when you lose your calm. The Stoics never claimed perfection, they practiced progress. When you fall, you don't quit. You adjust. You learn, you return to discipline. And slowly something shifts. Your baseline changes. What once overwhelmed you becomes manageable. What once broke you becomes a lesson. What once controlled you becomes irrelevant. You start to live from the inside out. And here's the beautiful part. When you live quietly and grow strong, you become a safe place. People feel calmer around you. Your presence carries weight, not because you demand it, but because you earned it. You become proof that peace is possible, that strength does not require dominance, that confidence does not require noise. That is leadership. As we come toward the end of this, I want you to ask yourself something real. What would change in your life if you stopped reacting and started responding? If you stopped explaining and started embodying? If you stopped seeking peace and started practicing it? You explain less, you argue less, you stress less, you grow more. That is not weakness, that is mastery. If this message moved something inside you, don't let it stay abstract. Take action. Choose one thing today where you respond calmly instead of emotionally. One habit you build in silence. One boundary you protect without explanation. And then come back and tell me in the comments what changed for you. Share your experience. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs. Live quietly, grow strong, and let your calm become your power.